Hi, today's topic is blockchain and cryptocurrency for greater good with Anu Bhardwaj. Hello, Anu. What is your story?
Hi, Michelle. Great to be on the show. I'm the founder of Women Investing in Women Digital. It's a media platform focused on getting more women to invest. And in the past, we've looked at private equity, venture capital, angel investing, crowdfunding. And for the past 24 months, we've been focusing on blockchain and cryptocurrency. All of our content is now looking at more women that are in the space, in the blockchain world, as well as those who are investing in crypto, either as miners, traders, ICO investors, advocates, influencers, enthusiasts. And you can find our content on thestateofwomen.com for those of you that are interested, or on our Facebook feed, which is at Women Investing Women Investing in Women Digital. You can check that out on Facebook.
Awesome. So, when was your first encounter with blockchain or cryptocurrency?
So originally, I started learning about blockchain in probably end of 2016. I started hearing about it a lot, and I was at a party in New York around like February or March of 2017, and the conversation was who's buying Bitcoin and who's buying Ethereum, which one should we buy first? And it was just a general conversation. I was talking to some people from Consensus, and they were, of course, like bullish on Ethereum, and they're like, it's going to go up, it's going to go up. And so I heard about it, and then months later, I had some friends who invested into a crypto fund, and at the time, their numbers started increasing, and I was super curious. Like when I started having more friends participate in the upside in the run in 2017, I thought this is a good time to start thinking about buying crypto. And so it just became more of a conversation. And then I actually learned about it by investing into a pool, and that was the beginning of learning about altcoins and ICOs and everything else that followed.
So, Anu, can you tell me a little bit about Crypto Chicks?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a conference that's happening this weekend. It's a group of women that are based in Toronto and other parts of Canada that got together, and their mission is to get more women educated about both blockchain and crypto. And I came across them last year at the Blockchain Futurist conference that my friend Jackie Hart invited me to keynote there. And I met with Natalia Ameline, whose son is Vitalik Buterin, and we met and we decided like we were going to do stuff in future. And we had blockchain on the beach last fall at the Laguna Montage Resort in California. And Crypto Chicks was one of our partners at that conference where we were launching crypto for kids. And so Crypto Chicks has content and curriculum, both for women, but they're also looking at children as well, educational curriculum. And we connected, we became friends, we stay in touch, we collaborate. And it's a really great group that's now global. They're in Pakistan, the Bahamas. I want to say they just came back from Australia like a month ago. And so they've really expanded their reach, and we're one of their partners as they're one of ours. And they're having a hackathon for AI and blockchain in Toronto this coming weekend. And I'm co-chairing their family day. And my daughter, Aria, who's 8, will be participating in their hackathon. And they have entrepreneurs and coders and technologists and people that are in the industry that are coming from all over the world. And so these young ones are going to be participating in teams. And so I'm really excited to see what we're all going to be doing. And of course, Crypto for Kids is going to be having a presence there on Sunday. So I'm super, super excited for their family day and all that they've planned.
How can kids use cryptocurrency? I mean, what do you see the use cases for that is?
So I think right now it's all about education and we've got all these amazing technologies that are coming out, and especially in like 2018, there was this rush to start developing tech, raising capital, and you see like all these projects that have started. But the real heart, I believe, of this whole space is the adoption. And the younger we go, the faster I think that, you know, the rest of the world is going to pick up and understand the power and potential of what this new digital currency can do. And so what we've done is with Crypto for Kids, we've designed an app that's now in the App Store, and it's on Android and iOS. You can find it under K, the number 4K. And what we've done is given children as young as 4 or 5 the ability to make their own coins, and you can use avatars and play coins, and it's just a way for them to see, like, look, I can make my own money. This is really simple. And in the near future, we'll be adding some games, and that's educational. Like, we'll have educational games, and also a feature where this currency can be donated to causes, the UN SDGs, as well as projects that they care about or that they want to support, be it climate change related, be it hunger related, poverty alleviation, education for children in other parts of the world. So they have the ability to actually support things that they care about. NEM has contributed tokens, Zem coins that are already in the app. So every child that downloads the app will get coins. And so, you know, for us, it's really just a way for us, for the kids to be socialized. But more importantly, it's a way for the kids to teach their moms and dads about, you know, what is this new digital money? So it's got a dual effect, which is let's onboard the next generation. But at the same time, you know, there's users that are not the main target audience that are going to come as a result of these kids educating themselves.
Awesome. And tell us about Crypto Queens. I believe I'm a member of that.
You're definitely one of our queens. I would put you up there. So Crypto Queen. So do you remember that article that you made, a list about a year and a half ago, the top women in blockchain? It was a Medium post that you did, or it was a Medium article. So basically, in 2017, when I was getting really deep into the space, I went to the World Economic Forum in Davos, and I wanted to start connecting with all these women from around the world that, you know, I was talking to on these different threads. And I'm like, you know, we just need a group where we can all come together and share successes and challenges that we're going through in the space. And initially it started off as a Facebook group, and it's private, it's closed, and I was really focused on screening those people that are serious or interested. So it's not just everybody just, you know, joins this group. So it's by invitation as well as nomination. And if people are interested listening to the show, you can go on Crypto with a Q, Crypto Queens, QRYPTO Queens on Facebook. And basically we have about 2,500 women, and 25% are actually men in this group who've been vetted. And it's just a way to share content on upcoming events, things that are happening, news, and it just became this community. And Women Investing Women has over 1 million followers. So that group is a news feed covering all different kinds of topics, but Crypto Queens is more blockchain, crypto, AI specific. And recently, I would say as late as July of 2018, we launched a newsletter called Talk Crypto to Me. It was coming out twice a week. And one of your companies, Cambrio, is one of our sponsors, original sponsors. So shout out to them. And we had about 80 newsletters go out so far over the past few months. And it's geared towards getting more women and millennials interested in the blockchain space. So for those of you who have friends or loved ones or children or young or people interested in learning more, you can sign up at cryptoqueens.com and look at the sign up section. It's sign-up, so sign up if you want to go on and check it out. It's a free newsletter. We publish it. and it's content that comes out that's really distilling what's happening in the space, and that's like taken off over the past year, I would say. The other thing that we've done is we've had events at these major blockchain conferences that you and I have attended. And last year there were so many parties and you can't keep track of them. And so we had Crypto Queens cocktails, events, soirees that happened on the sidelines. And that's a way for our community to get together. So if you are a member, like, you're invited to private parties during or after, and have dinners in London, and film screenings in Stockholm, and just really interesting activities. And so there is a domain right now, Crypto Queens, check it out, .com. And that's basically it. That's our community, and we're open. So please join.
Anu, how do you spell that?
Crypto with a Q, so QRYPTO, Queens, QEENS.com. So CryptoQueens.com.
Okay.
And you could see the conference that we held last fall, a Blockchain on the Beach. We'll have another one, likely later this fall again. Most probably in Miami. We're in the planning phases right now, and I'll let you know for sure. You shouldn't miss this one because it'll be fun in the sun, and our crypto queens from all over will be invited, as well as our crypto for kids. So it's going to be a fun event, which we'll start announcing this summer.
And I know there is a conference in New York. It's the United Nations Conference, Blockchain for Impact. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Blockchain for Impact was started under the Blockchain for Sustainable Development at the United Nations about 2 years ago. I got involved. I'll tell you exactly when I got involved. I got involved on International Women's Day, 2017. That was the first conference that I attended, and it was held at Thomson Reuters. And the following conference was held during UN General Assembly. I think it was like September 24th. And the goal is to get people within the industry together to focus what they're creating in the blockchain space that are addressing UN SDGs. And by SDGs, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's called Sustainable Development Goals. And at the moment, there's 18 of them, and you can go online and read about, the different numbers. So one, for instance, is poverty alleviation. There's hunger. Number 5 is women. There's one for financial inclusion. There's one for climate change. There's one for partnerships. So they have numbers, and there's goals where different organizations come together and they say, this is the one priority that we want to focus on. I believe there's one for human trafficking. That's number 8. And so you have different stakeholders, whether they be from UN agencies or outside of the UN, that come together and they focus on these goals. And ultimately, when we solve these goals, we're basically saying we're moving towards a more peaceful world, a more positive world, where we see more inclusion, less poverty, and ultimately working on things that are going to benefit all people in all parts of the world. Water is another big issue. For instance, we all have to be thinking about clean water and just resource preservation. Gender equality is my favorite, obviously, because I'm trying to work on various initiatives that give gender parity for women, whether it's through finance, economic empowerment, or just in general in terms of human rights. Like, there's parts of the world where women can't access capital markets. So I find this absolutely fascinating, the space where, you have all these actors working together to come up with innovations and solutions where we can bank those people that are unbanked. There's about 1.3 billion people at the moment that don't have access to banking, which is concerning. We've got a refugee crisis. 600 million people have issues with identity and borders and things like that. So it's, how do we address these challenges and come up with solutions that we can all focus on together. And it's not so much the problem, it's like coming up with the solution. So blockchain for impact is really bringing stakeholders together, and there's about 250 people that are selected from around the world through a nomination process. And if you go online, blockchainforimpact.org, you can see where that nomination form is. They're going to announce the speakers pretty soon, and the content. But what they're going to do is bring leaders from the UN to come and talk about what they've been doing, how they want to access this blockchain space. And so it's really a conversation of people that are in the industry with world leaders that are addressing these problems from a political, diplomatic, international. It's a meeting of the minds, and it's happening at the United Nations on June 4th. I'm actually co-chairing this meeting with Emma Todd, and all of the co-chairs, Amir Desal, Vincent Molinari, Sergio Cordova, are all super supportive. And so they put the content together, and the goal for this year was to try to get as many or equal number of women participating, which I think we've done as co-chairs.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. And we have support from not just the blockchain industry, but also the AI space, which you are actively working with. A number of people that are in cryptocurrency, data scientists. We've also got people coming from other parts of the world in Africa who are implementing technologies at the grassroots level. So it's a really, it's an awesome way to see what's happening in emerging markets, developing economies. We have people as far as the Marshall Islands. So if we look at like these island states in other parts of the world, where this is a game changer. It's like transformational technology, and they can replicate what they learned to the Caribbean, for instance, or other islands in Asia. It's really fascinating on how this conversation is really spreading on a global level.
And is there anything else?
Anything else? I would say that it's such a huge space, and I'm really pleased that we have this community where we can learn and share together. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I've been really focused on is adoption for more women and inclusion for more minorities as well. And the thing that I've been working on individually are these wallets for children and for women. We're developing a women's wallet called the Chic Wallet. It's coming out hopefully later this year. The UI is done, and we're now finishing up the UX and talking to various partners. But it's important that we get more women understanding about how they can participate and simplifying it, whether it's through content or whether it's through events or whether it's through technologies, so that they can also access this new digital world that we're all focused on creating. So just a brief announcement that we are making serious progress and have formed a number of partnerships and getting ready to make some announcements in the news. But it's really interesting to see how the space has evolved over the past year. And I think you would agree, like from the time that you and I met in San Francisco at D10E until now, like we've seen so many highs in the industry, and also the winter that just almost ended, and Bitcoin's taking off again. And it's like what we've learned, like we've just lived through a whole cycle, right? And it's not been that long. And it's like all the stuff that we saw in 2018 in the spring, with the rise of the coin and just predictions and things like that. It's really great to be like, oh, I remember when this happened. And it hasn't been that long, but it's like for those people that are in the space, 2 years is a long time, or 3 years is a long time. And it's fascinating to see where we're all headed a year from now. And I hope all this progress continues.
When is the expected live to site date for the Chic Wallet? Or how do you even spell that?
So, SHEQ, Chic.
Oh, okay.
Chic is it's pronounced like CHIC,
Uh-huh.
Chic.
Uh-huh.
but it's SHEQ. So in India, when they're developing the wallet, they call it SHEQ wallet.
Okay.
And so it's like, it's the SHEQ wallet. We're like, okay, yeah, the SHEQ wallet. But I have this obsession with the letter Q, as you know, but you've probably noticed by now. And so I'm like, yeah, SHEQ wallet. So it's, I think, how should I say this? Like, we're about 85% there, and with with wallets, you really have to be focused on safety and security, because we as women, like, there's two things. Like, you need to feel confident, like when you're putting your money somewhere, and you can't be afraid of whatever tech that you're using. And I think a lot of the tech that's out there, it's like, it's overwhelming. It's like, oh, what do I do next? Where's my password? How do I store this? What do I do if I lose something? How do I recover this? And there's just like so many questions on where is money going. And then the question of volatility comes up, and it's like, we've got currency, but it's not what I put in today. It's like changed. And so there are all these like things that, we have to address. And I think us being a media company first is like, we do have all this content. We have these newsletters, we have these videos, we have these podcasts, we have a lot of content. And so it's like, we try to simplify what we can. And with regards to the tech, I'm now learning, and I'm working with people that are extremely competent. And so they're like, you know what, we can handle this. You focus on that. And I'm hoping, like, by later this year, we're actually talking to an exchange right now. It's cross-border. It's in Africa, Middle East, and Asia, about partnering, and that announcement's going to go out pretty soon.
Awesome.
And so it's like, there's steps that are being taken. It's not so much the tech, but it's also, you have to have the partnerships in place. And so that's really what I've been focused on for the past 24 months.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you're going to come to the conference next week. We're going to see you in New York.
I'll see you in New York.
That's awesome. And yeah, Michelle, like your stuff, like, what would you say is the most important thing that's happening in the blockchain space? I've been curious, like, your perspective. Like, you've been working with a number of technologies, and also working on the finance side. Like, what kind of trends do you see happening over the next 6 months, a year from now? Like, where do you think the world is headed in blockchain and crypto?
Yeah, so I think there are more women in the space. I remember when I wrote that 200 thought leaders list, I went to a conference and there were 2 women speakers. And I think there were about 35 pitches, and none of the person pitching is a woman. So it's kind of good to go to conferences and see women speakers. Like, when I was in Hong Kong, there were Asian American speakers. So that was pretty inspiring to see that, like, people who look like you and they're speaking about cryptocurrency and blockchain. I think there's intergeneration. I would love to see more Asian American women speaking in Asian American conferences, or American conferences. I think that's kind of important, to really note the differences there. I think we are different, but yet we're also united and the same. And also, I think another trend is I see the rise of IEO, initial exchange offering.
Yep.
I think in the next 6 months, there will be more of that. And I see a lot of growth in the price of BTC, even during the civil war between Bitcoin Cash, and BSV. So it's been super super interesting, and I don't know. We're gonna find out who Satoshi really is, but I think I think it's interesting, and I also see a lot of good technology developing. I think a lot of people are building the share versus 2 years ago, where people had a white paper and they were able to raise a lot of money. Even fortunate companies were able to raise almost $1 million with teams consisting of movie stars. So I think the industry has gotten a little bit more sophisticated, and I think it's really good.
It's awesome. And I think there's going to be rise, and I think the volatility is on this trend. I know it's volatile now, but there's processes coming from the SEC with SPOs, for instance, and like you mentioned, the IEOs, and just so you know, like I spent the past like 2 weeks in New York at Consensus, like during Consensus, all these events. And I would say this year, 25 to 40% were Asian. And there were so many women from Asia, and it was like the Asian invasion. I was calling it the Asian invasion because it was like all these parties, and it was like so amazing to see, like they're launching their own exchanges, they're starting their own funds. And I made so many friends from like Hong Kong and Shanghai, and it was almost like you can flip a coin and it's like Beijing or Shanghai. Like there were so many that I'd love to introduce you to, and I was like, yep, I'm the only brown girl in this room, so do remember us when you take over. But it's great, and I look forward to like doing some events in Asia. I'll be in Australia in August, doing a road show like to 8 different Asian cities, and I plan to go to Singapore then in July, August. But yeah, there's a lot more for us to collaborate on, lots of global stuff, lots of gender stuff, and this youth and millennials. Like, I look forward to seeing you in New York, and anybody that's listening to the show that's interested, look out for Michelle or myself, and we look forward to getting you guys involved as well. So.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that sounds, yeah, you're welcome. I am really, really excited to have you on the show. Thank you for your time. And just one last question. And the last question is,
Sure.
you know, for the community, I usually request just a bit of wisdom for everyone. So what would your piece of advice be for everyone who is listening right now on anything, whether it's entrepreneurship, cryptocurrency and blockchain, or, you know, kids?
So I would say if you don't know, learn as much as you can, and try, because if you don't try, that's like you don't succeed at something unless you try. And if you're worried about failure, not trying is basically, that's your starting point, right? So it's like it's just one step towards success. And if you're not comfortable going in all the way, you know, try to find groups that you can get more confident and comfortable with. You're welcome to learn with us, because none of us have all the answers, and this is a really big space. And in terms of entrepreneurship, you have to take that chance. Like part of being an entrepreneur is getting used to failure, and getting used to getting back up and trying again and again and again and again until you figure it out. So I'm in this mindset that you need to just stay positive and take a chance. And it's attitude is everything, and gratitude is everything for that matter. So be thankful for those people that help you on your way when you take a chance. It's a lot of advice, but it's important advice, because we all have so many people to thank to where we get to, and I want to shout out to everyone who's helped me along the way.
Great, thank you, Anu. I'll see you in New York.
See you soon, and thank you again, and look forward to hearing the show.
Okay, bye.
Bye.